Good afternoon. Good afternoon. My name is Rodney Glover. I was a candidate for governor for Florida. I didn't quit. I didn't concede. I was removed. And it's important that I walk you through what exactly happened. So if you are running for office, you're going to know what happened. I always tell you go to glover2026.com to get the information. I did. I went there just looking because I like to make sure my name is always on a listing. When I pulled up, find your candidate, I got to the candidate listing. I looked at the candidate listing. I scrolled down to the governor portion and I noticed my name was not on the list. Immediately, I called the supervisor of elections office to figure out, not the supervisor of, I'm sorry, the Department of State in Tallahassee's elections office to figure out what had happened. I was told on the telephone that I needed to send an email to the elect records dos.florida.gov and the general counsel of dosflorida.gov. That's exactly what I did, which is what you guys are seeing right now. Essentially saying, my name is Rodney Glover. I'm a write-in candidate for the office of governor for the state of Florida in 2026. I'm writing for a formal inquiry as to why my name does not appear on the Divisions of Elections candidate list. Here is my history. January 30th, 2024, I executed and submitted a statement of candidate pursuant to section 106.023 Florida statutes. This document was received and stamped by the Divisions of Elections on February 2nd, 2024. On February 15th, 2024, I filed my appointment of campaign treasury and designation of campaign depository for the office of governor with the Division of Elections on February 19th, 2024, I received an official acknowledgement letter from Donna S. Brown, Chief Bureau of Election Records, confirming that my name has been placed on the 2026 active candidate list and assigning me an electronic filing system identification number, my number listed there. I have maintained compliance with all campaign treasury reporting requirements through the Division of Elections filing. Pursuant to section 99061 Florida statutes, I understand a write-in candidates are not required to pay filing fees, elections assessments, or party assessments. I have not received any communication from the Division of Elections indicating that any additional qualifying documents were required or that any step in my candidacy was incomplete. I respectfully request written response to the following specific questions. First, what is the current status of my write-in candidacy for 2026 general election for the office of governor? Second, if my name does not appear on the candidates list because of a formal write-in qualification form or a candidate oath pursuant to section 99021 Florida statute was not received during the June 8th through June 12th, 2026 qualifying period, please explain why no notice of this requirement was provided to me as a candidate who had been on an active candidates list since February 2024. The third, given that the division's own acknowledgement letter confirmed my placement on the 2026 active candidates list without any indication that additional steps would be required during a future qualifying period, what administrative remedies, if any, are available to address this matter? Fourth, I request that the Office of General Counsel advise whether Chapter 2026-26 Laws of Florida or Emergency Rule 1 Sir 26-3 has any bearing on my qualification status or any available remedy. I am requesting a written response for both Bureau Chief of the Election Records and the Office of General Counsel. Given the time-sensitive nature of the 2026 election calendar, I respectfully request a response within 5 business days. Here is my acknowledgement letter. This will acknowledge the receipt of the appointment of campaign treasurer and designation of campaign depository for the office of governor, which was placed on file in our office on February 15, 2024. Your name has been placed on the 2026 active candidates list. They gave me all the information that I needed. Now, what you don't see here is anything that says you need to further do more. So where I found that at, after, remember, I found out my name wasn't on the list anymore. I went to go look up 2 handbooks, the petition handbook. This is the first one. So when you look here and you go to find page, we're going to type in 99.021 because that's the statute. Here it is. They're talking about party affiliation. Party affiliation requires a person seeking nomination as a candidate of a party to be a member of that political party. If you guys remember, I was asking you to do petitions for me, didn't get those done. I was always non-party affiliated. So that portion of 99021 does not apply to me, which is very important. Now, if we go look at the qualifying handbook, we're going to find, again, we're going to look for 99021. 99021. Here we go. Nickname. Already know, guys, that doesn't apply to me. The first portion of Section B. Florida statutes, any person seeking to qualify for a nomination as a candidate of any political party shall, at the time of subscribing to the oath or affirmation, state in writing. But it's a party. I had to go down to Section C. Pursuant to Section 99021 Florida statutes, any person seeking to qualify for an office as candidate with no party affiliation shall, at the time of subscribing to the oath or affirmation, the oath or the affirmation that you are not part of a party. That was my paperwork that I turned in that said I am non-party affiliated. My paperwork states that, but it says the oath or the affirmation state in writing that they are registered without a party affiliation and that they have not been registered a member for more than 365 days, legally changed their name through a petition pursuant to 6807, have any, outstanding fees or penalties or any of those things, and we're done with 99021. But now we go look at 99021 because I like for everybody to know what happened. Here it is. Each candidate, whether a party candidate, a candidate with no party affiliation, or a write-in candidate, in order to qualify for nomination or election to any office other than a judicial office as defined in Chapter 105 or a federal office, shall take and subscribe to an oath or affirmation in writing. A copy of the oath, here's important to me, a copy of the oath or affirmation shall be made available to the candidate by the officer before whom such candidate seeks to qualify, and shall be substantially in the following form. And they start to give you these different forms. Now, remember, mine on that last document was Charlie, 102 Charlie. In addition, we're going to go down. We're looking at, this is the first version. We're in Bravo. Just looking at Charlie. In addition to any person seeking to qualify in office as a candidate with no party affiliation shall, at the time of subscribing to the oath or affirmation, state in writing he or she is registered without that party. So I did not do an oath because I never received an oath. Now, I thought the same thing that probably most citizens are maybe thinking when I started looking into this was, well, is this the oath? Are they saying that this is provided to me, and because it was in the handbook that I should have figured that out, even though I had a document that says that I'm on the list? So this is what I had been dealing with, and this is what I found out. I still to this day don't necessarily know who my qualifying officer would have been for a non-party affiliated person. I still don't know, but I'm going to assume that it had to be Donna S. Brown. I'm only assuming that because the Florida statute states that the candidate for governor qualifying before the Department of State, specifically the Division of Elections Bureau records. That would mean that the lady who signed my document, who sent it back to me, was at that time, and still is, to my knowledge, Donna S. Brown, but she didn't send me anything. What was the qualifying officer required to do? Under the statute, the qualifying officer was required to make a copy of the oath available to me to be qualified. That means the Division of Elections had an affirmative duty to provide me the oath form, but I never received any form. So that's why I had to send that email that I have not gotten a response to yet. My acknowledgement letter, the one that I received, because I had to write this out, my acknowledgement letter from Donna S. Brown confirms the division received my filings and placed me on the active candidates list. It provided detailed instructions about the campaign finance compliance. It did not provide me a copy of the oath or inform me that an oath filing was required during June 8th through the 12th of this qualifying window. Then I needed to answer a very important question. Did the handbook referencing 99021 and then them having an example of a form or a writing there, is that somehow saying that this person who is over the division of elections did give that to me because they have something to do with making sure that these statutes are up to date? And I came to this conclusion, and you can take it however you take it. The handbook being publicly available does not satisfy my statutory requirement that the officer make the oath available to the candidate. The statute says the officer provides it, not that the candidate finds it in the handbook. If the handbook were sufficient, the statute would say, or should say, a copy of the oath shall be made available in the qualifying handbook, but it doesn't say it. I am no longer a candidate for governor for Florida because that is ambiguous and can be interpreted in multiple ways, and I missed it. I missed the interpretation. Even though I have a document that says that I am on the active list as a candidate for governor for Florida, and even though that document did not say I needed to do anything else, the divisions of elections office had a reference to a statute that correlated to a rule, and I did not do the oath. And I did not turn that oath in, the oath of candidacy. It's not an oath of office. It's just to say, yes, I am non-party, even though you have documentation that says I'm non-party, even though I filled out all this information that says I'm non-party. I didn't do an oath, even though the document that you gave me comes with a statutory offense for lying on that documentation. I didn't do a specific oath that says that, even though I signed the document that says everything that I put on this document, I affirm to be true. It wasn't enough. And it cost me 4 years. And I'm not just talking, I'm talking 4 years because I can't run again until the office comes available again. I have no idea how they're going to respond to me. But I will tell you that even though this is a 4-year mistake, you only get one time to pull the wool over my eyes. This will never happen again. And I'll continue to run in the next 4 years if I don't get a favorable response. If I don't get a favorable response, I'll just continue to run again in the next 4 years. And I'll do my oath immediately. I still just have to find out who serves the oath because nothing still says who that is. I am guessing that it's supposed to be Donna. I'm guessing. There's just nothing that says who can do that. There's no list out there yet that I found that says who's supposed to have sworn me in. This is for anybody who's running. I chose to run non-party affiliated. I chose to run on the backs of citizens, not asking you for your money, but asking you if you want to change. And I missed something. I missed a small piece. And that small piece cost me currently my entire campaign. It did not cost me all the work I did. I absolutely still believe that you need control over your elected officials. But currently, I'm not on that qualified list. But it was important for me to tell you exactly why and to be able to show you exactly what I read and how I came to that conclusion. Now, even though I'm still saying that that line says that you're supposed to give that to me, somebody else could say, well, I work for the state. The state puts out this information. So that's just like me giving it to you. Ambiguity. I just appreciate everybody's time. I appreciate everyone's support. And if you made it this far, thank you. And don't vote for somebody you can't control. And you guys definitely have a great day. and my S Pen just died. So I need to turn this around and turn this off on my own.